We have some breaking news to bring you now. And Manchester United have posted their highest revenues on record, but have still made a loss. Our football correspondent Rob Dorset is alongside me. Rob, can you just talk us through the figures?
Yeah, look, I'm still digesting them. This is a heck of a weighty document that we've been given for Manchester United's annual accounts. But the headline, without a doubt, is that Manchester United achieved record revenues for 2024-25 of £666.5 million. Now, that's an extraordinary figure. It's the greatest revenue that the club has ever earned, despite not having Champions League football last season. And we know how lucrative that can be. But they still made an overall loss, a net loss, of £33 million. Manchester United fans that are watching this now thinking, great, we can go and splash the cash and spend fortunes on new players. That isn't the message that's coming out of Manchester United today. It's still a message of prudence and that the restructuring goes on and that there's some tough decisions still to be made going forward.
Roles that can be made redundant, and that is what they have been doing. And in the statement we've just had in the past hour from the Chief Executive, Omar Barada, he says we are initiating a wide-ranging series of measures which will transform and renew the club. Unfortunately, this means announcing further potential redundancies, and we deeply regret the impact on those affected colleagues. However, these hard choices are necessary to put the club back on a stable financial footing. We've lost money for the past 5 consecutive years. This cannot continue. Our 2 main priorities as a club are delivering success on the pitch for our fans and improving our facilities. We cannot invest in these objectives if we are continuously losing money.
Now, last week, it marked a year since Ineos took their stake and took control of football operations at Manchester United. There were a lot of pieces about, I guess you would call it potentially penny pinching if you wanted to, or streamlining. It's not just redundancies that are put in place by Ineos to change things at Manchester United?
No, I think going forward, we are going to see more staff moving from Old Trafford to working at Carrington. Of course, Carrington is being redeveloped at the moment. Also, I think there will be a reduced presence at Manchester United's offices in London. If you remember, under Ed Woodward, for instance, United always had a presence in central London. Their offices used to be in Mayfair. I think they've moved to High Street, Kensington. That was to have the people who sort of negotiate United's commercial deals based in London, because the thinking was that it was easier to meet interested parties who wanted to do business with United in London rather than in Manchester. I think going forward there will still be a London office for United, but more of the people who work in London will be moving to Manchester. Also, a couple of other things to clear up. I know there have been some reports today about the fact that if you work at United's training ground and you're not a member of the first team squad, the catering arrangements are going to change for you. I've seen headlines saying that you'll only be getting soup and sandwiches. I think the guidance we are getting is that Carrington catering arrangements will remain unchanged for the remainder of the season. But of course, as at every other club, there is a difference between the food that first team players, the first team, the academy and the women's teams are served compared to what other people who work at the training ground get.
In fact, we have some more breaking news from Old Trafford. Straight to our city editor, Mark Kleinman, who's outside the club. Well, it all seems to be happening there tonight. Mark, what have you got?
That's right, Dermot. A day of big news departures from Old Trafford, with exit from the club confirmed a couple of hours ago. What I can reveal tonight is that an even more significant development is on the horizon, and that is that the Glazer family, which has owned Manchester United for the last 17 years, is finally preparing to sell up. Now, as I understand it, the club will announce within the next couple of days, possibly as soon as tonight, that it is looking at alternative financing options to fund the future development of Manchester United. Now, that could include the sale of a minority stake in the club. It could involve a partnership with third-party investors. But it also is going to involve exploring whether to conduct an outright sale of Manchester United, arguably the world's most famous football club. Now, of course, Dermot, the Glazers have owned Manchester United since 2005, and it's been a tenure dogged by controversy. Controversy over the dividends that the majority shareholders have paid themselves. Controversy over United's declining on-pitch performance. Remember, the Red Devils have not won a Premier League title since 2013, and the aftermath of the Sir Alex Ferguson era has been punctuated by a series of managerial failures and a churn in a playing squad that has left United trailing far behind local rivals Manchester City and bitter rivals Liverpool. Now, as I understand it, Dermot, as I say, this announcement could come within the next few hours. It doesn't necessarily mean that the Glazers will sell up, but we are now much closer to that possibility than we've been at any point since 2005. Back in 2010, a group of fans led by the City economist Lord Jim O'Neill formed a group called the Red Knights in an attempt to force the Glazers to relinquish control of the club. In more recent times, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the Ineos petrochemicals billionaire, has said that he would be interested in buying Manchester United, but recently distanced himself from the possibility. Nevertheless, it is conceivable that we will now see an auction of Manchester United that attracts billionaires from around the world. And what's also worth noting, Dermot, is that this potential sale process will come at the same time that Liverpool is also exploring a sale of either a minority or a controlling stake. It's pretty much unprecedented to see two of English football's biggest names simultaneously exploring sale processes of this kind. So seismic news tonight from Old Trafford, both about
Manchester United have been thrust into a wave of emotional turmoil as sad and unexpected news reportedly emerged from within the club, leaving fans worldwide stunned and deeply concerned. What began as a routine day behind the scenes has quickly spiraled into one of the most unsettling moments of the season, with the atmosphere around the team described as tense, somber, and unlike anything seen in months. While details remain unconfirmed, early indications suggest that the situation has resonated beyond football matters, touching players, coaching staff, and even members of the wider United family. The emotional weight of the development has reportedly cast a shadow over the dressing room, interrupting momentum at a crucial stage of the campaign. Inside Carrington, Ruben Amorim and his staff are said to be handling the situation with sensitivity and calmness. The Portuguese manager, known for his composed leadership, now faces one of the most delicate challenges of his tenure. Supporters and analysts alike note that this is a moment where tactical plans take a back seat, as the human side of the sport comes sharply into focus. Players close to the situation are believed to be visibly affected, with training intensity lowered and team discussions taking on a more reflective tone. This emotional shift has raised important questions about the squad's mental readiness for upcoming fixtures, especially at a time when United can ill afford disruptions on or off the pitch. Meanwhile, the global fanbase has responded with an outpouring of support. Platforms across social media are buzzing with messages of concern, unity, and compassion. Hashtags connected to the unfolding situation have surged into trending lists as supporters express solidarity with whoever may be impacted by the news. From heartfelt prayers to emotional tributes, the Manchester United community has once again shown its capacity to rally together during difficult moments. This sad development also brings up several pressing questions. What steps are being taken internally to maintain stability during this emotional period? As the story continues to evolve, uncertainty looms, but one thing remains clear: this moment has touched Manchester United in a profound and unexpected way. It is a reminder that behind the roar of Old Trafford, behind the tactical battles and the weekly headlines, football is still driven by people, people who feel, struggle, and endure life's turns just like anyone else. Fans now wait anxiously for clarity, hoping the situation can be resolved with compassion, strength, and unity. Until then, Manchester United stands together, shaken, emotional, but united.